channel.
Hey, you know what time it is.
What time is it, man?
Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class, and my co-host,
Mr. J. How's it going, guys? We have another one for you, and we would like to remind you, if you like these videos or this content, go in the section below, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure you turn on your notifications.
Yeah. And we want to obviously do a shout out, congratulate ourselves, pat on the back, and thank you guys, our No Press fam, for reaching us to 300. That's right, we hit 300 subscribers. You guys made it happen. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Every time we
Much
grow.
appreciated, guys. We
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah, the more we get bigger, the more chances we're going to be able to provide more great content for you guys to enjoy. So just keep on subscribing and keep telling your friends about us. We really appreciate it. But let's get back to this.
Much love.
Yeah, we're continuing on the tournament. Villain or anti-hero. And today I am starting things off by representing DC Comics, the main man, Lobo.
No, I've never seen a creature like this.
I love you too.
Alright, let's get into the super brief origin story, because like all villain stories or anti-heroes, it seems to be pretty damn messed up in the DC world. So, in the world Lobo was born in, his people were kind. They were not violent people. They were friendly, harmless. They didn't do anything to people that didn't, they didn't do anything harmful. At least that was the consensus. And then one day, Lobo was born, and he was their ultimate doom. Eventually, at one point, he destroys his home planet and becomes the last of his people. I guess he was their virus, I guess, in a way. And after he destroys his own planet and becomes his own person and becomes the main man, he decides to become a bounty hunter to feed his flying dolphins. And that is the super brief origin story of Lobo.
Powers, abilities, and feats. Khazarian physiology, I hope I said that right. Superhuman strength, superhuman stamina, pretty much the superhero cocktail. Immortality, invulnerability, superhuman speed, self-sustenance, regeneration, biofission. Now, biofission is interesting. This is where people are not familiar with, because I wasn't familiar with it, but if a drop of blood falls out of his mouth or out of his nose, anywhere, and falls to the ground, he can make another Lobo out of it. So, he can make another copy of himself just based on that blood. That's crazy. Thermal immunity. That means he can travel through the coldest places on Earth, the hottest places in the planet. It does not bother him. Possession. Genius intellect, tracking, and an expert combatant.
Alright. So, I mean, this guy is crazy. Let's talk about the end game. So, Lobo can make weapons out of garbage. I mean, that alone is already too much of an impressive feat. Like, nope, not a lot of people are that inventive and creative enough to invent anything. Some people can make little statues every now and then. Some people can make a house for them to stay in made out of garbage. But nobody can make a high-tech explosive device, or a device that can destroy a planet. I don't think there's a man out there that could invent a garbage like that. If so, we should probably be keeping an eye on that guy. But yeah, anyways, with Lobo, again, this guy can make weapons that destroy planets. So I gotta say, bringing that into already the argument itself, I think any weapon that Lobo decides to pull out is going to be too kind of threatening for Venom. And another situation, if let's say Lobo feels pressured, he has his bike. I've never mentioned the bike before because I didn't want to bring it, but now I do have to bring it every now and then. The bike is a backup. It's just like his, have you ever seen wrestling when they have that tag team partner or that person who's outside who's cheering you on, but somehow he throws in a chair to help you out later and distracts the ref? That's the bike. Lobo is, let's say he gets pressured into a situation where Venom is overpowering, or maybe he's putting him in a corner and he's feeling like he can't figure anything out. The bike always can come shoot at Venom or put Venom out of his place or hit him with it. Doesn't really matter. And if Venom decides to go inside or jump on top of the bike, Lobo has invented some contingency plans against anyone being able to tamper with his bike or even touch his bike. He's created a lot of traps, so there's no way that anybody can really get their hands on the bike if Venom decided to try to jump on it. Which for Eddie Brock can, because Eddie Brock is actually a bike fanatic. As far as exchange of blows, Venom, yes, he's faced Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is strong and tough on his own. There is no argument there. But people have said that Venom is stronger than Spider-Man. So, argument being said that, yeah, Spider-Man's strong, but Venom is stronger. But then, let's compare the argument between Lobo and Superman. The usual fights in the comics, they wind up almost shattering like the universe or planets with their hits and swings. So I have to say, Lobo being able to throw down with one of the biggest and the baddest, I think overtops Venom's ability to take down someone who is much weaker than him. So I do believe Lobo does have the ability to throw down with Venom for a long period of time and eventually put a dent on Venom, because Venom is strong, but at some point the main man is just going to have much more force in his fist. And let's say hypothetically Venom decides to try to get his hands latched on to Lobo. I think that would be a very, very bad idea. Lobo is psychotic, okay? You don't want to be latched onto him, and I think that the moment Venom gets his hands on Lobo, he would realize that you wouldn't want to be attached to him. He'd be like, whoa, this guy is way scarier than I want to be anywhere near. I'm going to stick with Eddie. His Lobo was smart enough to invent a device to go against someone like Deadman. Deadman is in the spirit realm supernatural abilities. So for Lobo to be able to figure out a weakness or find out a way to trap something like that that's not even in his element is saying something, which means that even if he meets up with Venom, he's going to know how to figure a way around Venom. He's going to know how to put Venom in a little container if he wanted to, suck him out of Eddie. He might be able to rip Eddie off of Venom. I mean, Lobo is that strong. Lobo is able to pull a planet with a chain. So I will say that, will he be able to kind of get Venom detached from Eddie? I think, yeah, that's a possibility. Another thing to consider is that, you know, Lobo has a crazy super healing ability, like Wolverine. Even crazier. He can have his head cut off and still fight. He could be all skeleton and still fight. He recovers incredibly fast. There was an argument in the comics. There was one argument. This was old school comics, where there was a bunch of people shot him, right, to a bloody pulp. Okay, he was just blood, and he managed to duplicate multiple Lobos out of that and make same level powers of Lobo. Think about it, multiple clones of Lobos with the same level of power. Are you kidding me? Coming at you, it's over. Like, it's doom. I think they could conquer a whole freaking universe with those guys. But anyways, beside the point. My point being is Lobo has the ability to invent a device to destroy a planet, though he has the ability probably to destroy Venom if he wanted to with one of his weapons. He is match blows with Superman's on a regular day basis, which means that he could probably put Venom down for the count with just throwing down long enough. Another thing is his incredible healing factors is going to keep him going and going and going in this fight. Another thing is because Lobo is able to create devices against things that are out of his element. So everything with all those combinations in his arsenal, I gotta say, yeah, Lobo, the main man, for the win.
Okay, my contestant today is none other than Eddie Brock. Super brief origin. Eddie, I believe, killed his mother during childbirth, right?
I don't remember that far back. All I got is the Eddie and Venom met comic story.
Alright. Well, then just going by that, Eddie Brock hated Peter Parker because of a story, a mishap. Basically, Eddie did a story about somebody. Peter Parker caught the real guy. He was fired and shamed, and he just hated Peter Parker. He hated Spider-Man. And all of a sudden, the symbiote, which had just left Spider-Man's body, Peter Parker, they found each other, and they're both just like, what? We both hate the same guy? We are now best friends. We are one. We are Venom. And that's their super brief origin.
Venom.
Because of the Venom symbiote has super strength, speed, durability. He has a poisonous bite thanks to the symbiote, which means if Venom is able to get close enough to you, his bite will be extremely poisonous and toxic and can kill just about almost anyone. I'm not sure what the lethalness is with his bite, but I know it is lethal.
Yeah.
Also, because of the shape-shifting ability, Venom can sprout out webs just like Spider-Man, which are stronger than Spider-Man's webs. He can glide. He can make decoys of himself to trick his enemy. He can sprout tendrils, which basically those little extra arms that he sprouts out of himself,
like Dr. Octavia style.
It's basically like an extra limb. Venom can spew those out pretty much several at a time. He can also he can also make spikes and other various weapons such as shields, swords, and other melee weapons that if Venom needs, he can use them. He can turn himself invisible. He can heal rapidly. He can survive hits from Hulk and Juggernaut, and he was able to shake off Hulk's thunderclap. Now, the reason I bring this up is because they have brought up Venom's weaknesses a lot, and it's very known what Venom's weaknesses are, and that is fire and sound. Now, if you think about it, the Hulk's thunderclap is just a giant wave. It is a sense, it's a sound. This is what I'm getting at. It's a giant sound, and it is a wave, which usually it is able to at least throw most of the Marvel Universe at least off its feet. Venom was able to shake that off. So, from my standpoint, that's impressive in its own right. But another thing I found very interesting about Venom is he was able to shake off the Ghost Rider's penance stare.
Oh. Now that's good.
That's very interesting. See, the penance stare, basically what it does is Ghost Rider looks into your soul and turns every sin that you have every bad thing that you've ever done, he turns it all against you. It just pretty much fries your soul from inside out. Venom was able to shake that off. Going into the end game, this fight's obviously going to be a little bit tougher for us on the Marvel side. Venom has enough to be able to survive because, let's face it, Venom's been able to get hit by the Hulkbuster. He's been hit by Hulk himself. He's been hit by Thor. He's been impaled. Venom can take a pretty big punishment. He's going to do enough to maybe wear Lobo down or at least keep him distracted because, yes, Lobo can invent things out of nowhere and out of garbage. But I'm pretty sure that takes some significant amount of time. Venom can kind of make weapons on the fly out of his body and just impale Lobo. Is that going to be enough to kill him? No, it's not. He could try his acid bite, see how far that gets him. I know Lobo does have some type of parasitic weakness. He could see maybe how long that could maybe slow him down. But in the end, as far as Lobo goes, I see this coming down to the symbiote itself trying to take over Lobo's body, either by forcing him to kill himself or the symbiote itself exploding Lobo, which they do have the ability to do. Venom has been known to kind of pull that in a fight if he's losing. He'll just have the symbiote take over that person's body. And yeah, that's kind of it. This fight is going to be a little bit difficult. He's going to have to try to be smarter than Lobo, which isn't going to be difficult for him to do, considering, Lobo probably will be more intelligent. If he's able to keep him just kind of in the area, not let him run away, not let him, make things, conjure stuff up, then he should be all right. But really, that's the only end game I can really see happening, is if the symbiote itself takes over Lobo's body. Which I think if Lobo in itself isn't prepared for, or doesn't know about, or isn't aware of, then yeah, it can sneak up on him. He's just gonna be like, what is this stuff that's on me? And there you go. I mean, Venom was able to take over Thanos, so I'm pretty sure he could take over Lobo.
Hope this
But as always, it's not up to me. It's not up to my boy here. It's up to you guys. So, if you guys like my argument, you know what you could do? You can hashtag Lobo. And if you like my boy's argument, what can you do, brother?
Hashtag Venom.
And as always, no press spam. We really appreciate you guys. We catch you guys later. All right? Peace.